I took my green sweatshirt off just for this. It's right here. But I felt like I should probably not wear it again to record a video. So here I am, not in my green sweatshirt. I'm in my green jacket instead. People are definitely talking about this, but I feel like I haven't seen anybody talking about it. One of the reasons I hate Instagram so much is because of the comments section. The comment sections, I should say. Oh. I feel like we all are aware at this point of just how vile the Instagram comments sections are and can be. There's some pretty great ones. I've seen some pretty great ones. However, most of them are not great. And I feel like TikTok, for the most part, especially like the sides of TikTok that I've been on, have been really sweet and chill, right? However, I have been coming across a lot of videos recently where the comment sections are vile. Horrible, really, really awful. I feel like people forget that the internet is public. And I kind of just want to rant about, like, how dangerous autonomy is. Or not autonomy. Oh my god, not autonomy. Anonymity. Anonymity. How dangerous anonymity is. Especially in the context of the internet. I think if people are going to do horrible things, they'll do horrible things. Some people. I think most people would not do horrible things. Don't do horrible things because there's no anonymity, like, in the real world. I mean, that's kind of why... That's partly, like... Is that good? Okay. I'm thinking of, like, the Purge, right? And, like, people wearing masks during the Purge. Would you still be able to do what you do during the Purge? I've never seen the movie, so I'm sorry if this is, like, way wrong. I also still don't know what my hair is doing. It's, like, being really weird. Like, would those people still be able to do what they do during the Purge if they weren't wearing masks? And I really kind of want to do, like, a long, maybe, like, researched video about this. I don't really like doing research. But I think I might do that. Do some research. So I can make, like, a long, in-depth video sort of discussing this idea. So I definitely am not the first person to just sort of, like, talk about this in general. I do think in the context of Instagram and, Instagram's comments sections or whatever, I haven't seen a lot of videos about that. But just generally about anonymity and, like, the dangers of it, that's definitely something that has been, looked into before. And I'm just really curious as to, like, why these people feel it's okay to comment such vile, disgusting, like, insensitive things, outside of just the fact that, like, it's anonymous, right? There's just such a lack of empathy that I've sort of, like, faced just, I mean, forever, really, my whole life. I'm not that old. I'm not old at all. I'm actually very young. But, like, just my entire life, and other people's entire lives. It's just, like, there are always going to be people that are insensitive, right? But I feel like generally, as a whole, we've collectively grown more insensitive. And I do feel like that has to be partly because of the desensitization of generations, right? I mean, we're at the point where, especially now, I don't think anything can come up on the news and shock me anymore, right? Because it's just, like, so much. There's so much. I've, like, heard so much. I've seen so much, especially growing up on the internet. Like, there's just... I feel like that's a I mean, it is a big problem, but I definitely feel like that's a big part of why people are so comfortable commenting horrible things, right? However, the difference there is, even though, that one TikTok comment is not the most horrible thing that's ever happened to any human ever, that doesn't mean that you should still feel okay doing that. And that doesn't mean that that's still not going to affect the person at all. You don't know how, strong they are or how thick skinned they are when it comes to, like, emotional harassment and verbal harassment, right? I mean, people forget that words, like, matter to some people, because so many people just don't care, right? But people do care. There are people who care, and the people that don't care that they care, right? And so I feel like it sort of just kind of like spirals out of control from there, because there's nothing that you can really do about it. And if they don't care, there's nothing you can say or do that will get them to care. The comment that sparked all of this, the person was posting a TikTok about, like, their abusive their abusive ex-friend becoming really popular on TikTok for this reason, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I have abusive ex-friends, like, I have abusive ex-people that I've had relationships with. I've known abusive people. That's kind of just, I mean, frankly, it is kind of par for the course at this point. And I think that the word abuse is similarly to how I feel about the word trauma. I feel weird saying that I have trauma because I'm not, like, a war vet, or because I'm not, I don't know. I have a hard time, like, saying that I have trauma, even though I definitely do. I have a hard time admitting that that's what it is, just because I know that in the grand scheme of things, right, it's not that bad. I've heard that so many times. I've been told that so many times. I've been told it's not that bad. I've heard it's not that bad. I tell myself that all the time. Like, I've gotten a lot better about not doing that, because it is that bad, right? It's that bad. But, like, I've just heard that so much. It's ingrained into my brain, right? And this sort of, like, idea of it's not that bad, who gets to decide what's bad, right? I think that having the understanding that, I mean, yeah, I didn't, like, survive a war or fight in a war, and I didn't, you know, almost die because of a partner. Well, like, they didn't almost, like, kill me or anything like that. That doesn't mean that what I experienced isn't still bad, right? I think that sort of trying to, like, I don't know what the word I'm thinking about is. Trying to, like, level badness. If it's bad, it's bad. It doesn't matter what, like, level of badness it is. And you shouldn't feel bad for thinking something's bad because it's not a level of badness that you think it should be in order for it to be bad, right? Right? That was a lot of bads, but that's kind of, I don't really know how else to explain it. And it's taken me, like, a really, really long time to sort of accept that. And I still, struggle with it sometimes. But in the comment that sparked this was a very insensitive comment, and had a lot of likes. I think like 20,000 or like 20 something thousand likes. And the comment was like, how do you even get abused by a friend, or like, how does a friend even abuse you, like, laughing emoji or something like that. And it was very insensitive, right? Obviously this person either is in denial or was the abuser, or, like, just has never been in that situation. And I think that disconnect, if you don't understand something, just either ask genuinely without making fun of anyone or without, teasing about it. Ask genuinely, or just don't engage with the content, right? I do believe that asking questions and learning is very important, but I also believe that some people aren't in the right headspace or mindset to learn things. And that's okay. You know, learning is hard, right? And being curious is hard, and it's okay if you're not curious. Don't be mean, right? And I do just sort of, not for any like weird reasons, I just wonder like how old the person is, because I feel like a lot of younger people growing up now don't really understand what the internet is, or if they do, they understand it in a way that is sort of separates them from their humanity, right? And because of that separation, they're almost like not really human anymore. I feel like our empathy and our, ability to cognitively think about other people's emotions is one of the most powerful things that sets us apart from animals. I do firmly believe that humans are still animals, and I don't think we should hold ourselves to any like higher regard. But I do think that we have abilities that most other animals, if not like all other animals, don't, and that we need to keep that in check, right? We need to, even if empathy doesn't come naturally, I think that it's important, because I know that there's like mental differences that physically disable empathy as the part of your brain. And with that, I'm not sure. My sister's calling me. I don't know why my sister. We're literally in the same house. I don't know why she's calling me. I don't know what. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know anything about that or those sorts of disorders. I don't know what term is the correct term to use. Those situations. I don't know what to do about those situations. But I mean, I struggle with like my own mental illness in very different ways. And I've never been able to sort of turn that part of my brain off. If anything, it's in overdrive most of the time, right? And it's really hard. I don't say this to like brag about being like empathetic. I don't. That's not like the point of the video. It's just sort of like, if you are a really empathetic person, I understand your struggle, because it's really, really hard to be empathetic in a world that is not. And it's really, really hard to constantly, literally all the time, be surrounded by, people, societies, governments, things that aren't empathetic. And I think society is the wrong word, because again, like, I think that empathy is, I think that what I view as empathetic, or I know what I view as empathetic, is influenced by my culture and how I was raised. And I do think that empathy is a subjective term. Just being in America specifically, with what I know as empathy, what I've grown up, knowing as empathy, it's really hard. Oh, now my sister's calling me. Anyways, I love my sister. But yeah, it's just really hard, and that comment really sort of like sparked something in me. I do want to do, like I said, I do want to do like a more in-depth, more researched video about this, I think, and about empathy. And I'm curious as to whether or not like this is really like a real thing that's happening, that's measurable, or if this is sort of like just a generational thing, or if it's all in my head, which it very well might be. I'm probably just too sensitive. But yeah. I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts in the comments are. If you think that people should just like stop being snowflakes or whatever, and should just suck it up, which I have also heard many times. Let me know as politely as as you can muster, as politely as possible. If you agree, let me know. I really want to like start discussions in my comments sections. I really want to know about other perspectives and like other cultures, other people's ideas. I want to know. I'll try and respond as best I can. I do have this app called ScreenZen, which like blocks my social media because I have a really bad like scrolling problem. But I will do my best to reply when I can. So, yeah, okay, that's kind of it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about anything. The Instagramification of comments is driving me bananas. It's one of the only reasons that I don't like social media just in general. The only reason I have it is because I'm an artist and I kind of like unfortunately need to have it to promote myself and my work. But if I could just like anyways, I don't like social media, and I never use Instagram, especially just because my feed is really like political, and I don't know how to. It's so important to stay informed, but I also don't want to be informed through social media, you know, because it gets really weird. But I don't know how to change my algorithm at this point. I don't think it is fixable or changeable at all. So it's kind of the only reason that I use TikTok. I also really like the video format rather than photos. I like videos a lot more. Another reason that I mostly use TikTok, you know. But yeah, I really hope that people can go back, if there ever was a time when people were nice on the internet. I'd like it if we could go back to that. However, once again, nice is subjective, so yeah, you can like talk in circles for hours. This is one of those like philosophical conversations, I think, where there's no right or wrong answer, because everything is opinion based and like objective, subjective. I don't know if I'm using either of those right. I think that there's an argument from pretty much every side. So it's really difficult to have these conversations, and I feel like with philosophical conversations specifically, people don't like to not be right, and because there is no inherent right, you know, it's really hard to have conversations like this, because you can't be right and people don't like to be wrong. And if you're not right, you're inherently wrong, which isn't true. That's wrong. Because not everything has a right or wrong. But we don't really teach that at all. So there's a cat here. My cat is so cute right now. I need to show you. She's sleeping. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, anyways. Yeah, that's my video. Please, like, be kind, whatever that means to you. Don't insult anyone, I think is a good way to start. Yeah. Okay, bye.